Welcome to Standing on Business with Eric Foss. I'm your host, Eric Foss. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Standing on Business with Eric Foss. I'm your host, Eric Foss. Guys, excuse me because I'm just been jumping in and out here. I'm rehabbing the house, so I'm jumping down here to do some content real quick. So let's get into it. We're going to talk today about prison hustles in federal prison. We're going to talk mainly federal prison, okay? But there's hustles in all prisons. But the federal prison system, I'm telling you, people make bank. People send big money home and stuff. So we're going to get into all the hustles. And this is also going to cover a question that I get a lot of times when I tell these stories. It's like, well, Eric, what if I'm broke? What if I don't have family? What if I'm, indigent? And I go to the feds. How do I make it? We're going to get into that. All right, guys, let me just start off by saying this, okay? When you go into the BOP, you get assigned a job. Everybody's assigned a job. Some people get jobs that are kind of like no-show jobs like I do. I might be rec hallway. So once every weekend, I got to go up to rec and sweep a little hallway or something like that. And I get paid $1 a month, okay? Now, there's other jobs. You have jobs in education and stuff like that. Now, none of these jobs pay great pays. You know what I mean? Some of them, you get up to like $40 a month, $90 a month. That's, when you're getting up to the $90 a month and into the hundreds, now you're getting into something called Unicor. Well, that's what a lot of guys do, okay, if they have nothing and they want to stay out of the mix. These are the guys who want to stay out of the mix. What Unicor is basically modern day slavery. Like when I was at FCI Gilmer, I'll describe that Unicor. That Unicor was huge and they paid them well. And they actually fixed and rebuilt the Hummers that the military uses, over there in other countries or whatever when they're fighting wars, So they actually do that. And these are man, if you figure on the streets, these are jobs 50, 60, maybe $100 an hour. I'm not sure. But they're able to, when people get locked up with the feds, and some people have been locked up a long time, family members died, things like that. They don't want to be in all the confusion and all, have to hustle and stuff. So they'll work at Unicor and they'll work overtime and stuff. And they'll get, if they work a lot of overtime, they can get a lot of money. They could crack $1,000 in a month. I mean, stuff like that, which is, decent money in prison, to go get your toiletries, your hygiene, everything like that, and, keep food in your stomach. And also be able to participate in some things like, buy some stamps so you can gamble and stuff like that if you like sports or whatever. So that's good for some people. But like I said, it's like these jobs, the government's getting over right there. The other Unicor that I was at, I never worked at, but the places I was at, it was at Big Sandy. They're Unicor now. They did the the army jackets and stuff that the military actually wears. They make them there. You see them putting, thing where the names go, everything like that. You could see that. So that was that. Once again, those are jobs that are probably decent amount of money on the street, but they're able to make prisoners do that for a few $100 a month or whatever. And what was the other Unicor? I think the other Unicor was office furniture and stuff like that. Now, and that was at Schuylkill. They did the government office furniture. That's what they built. That's what they made. So once again, same situation. Now, when I was in Allenwood Low for that 2 months almost before I got thrown out, they had Unicor there. And we're going to get into this. They were doing something, but I think they were destroying electronics or something like that. So what people would do is when they were working in Unicor, say a situation like that, you never know what you're going to find in there. That's how you can get motors for tattoo guns. If you take it out or whatever, you just get the motor back somehow. That's $50. You understand what I'm saying? So you're supplementing your income as you're working in Unicor. Now that's called prison hustling. You know what I mean? You might be, say you work at education. Now, this would be a hustle you could do. You work at education. Now, I'm a bookie. Being a bookie is my hustle. You understand that? So I'm a bookie. So what do I need? I need like highlighters and all the good stuff like that. So you can steal them out of education, all brand new stuff. You could steal them and you come sell them to me. So that could be a hustle for you, and it helps with my hustle. Now, like when you go in the yard, and especially at Gilmer, I'm really going to talk about Gilmer because I was there the longest, and this was the most wide open I've ever seen. You could go in the yard, and there'll be a guy running around with a bag, you know, the gray net bag, like a workout bag, full of candy and full of cards, walking around. Cards and candy, get your cards and candy. He's got any type of card you need. He has them sent in, I think it's to his family, and he marks them up. So he's got real cards, which is hard to get, you know, so you don't got to sit down and draw them and stuff, because that's another hustle we'll get into in a minute. And he's also got candy. So as we're sitting in the yard, he comes up, it's 4 of us sitting there, and he's got these, like, it'll be like 3 Jolly Ranchers and a Fireball wrapped up. 3 Jolly Ranchers and a Fireball, you know, so I'll buy us 4 of them. Boom, here's 4 stamps. So he gave us that for $1. Now he moves on to the next people in the bleachers. It's just like you'll see it like a football game or a baseball game, walking around doing that. So you do have that hustle. Now, one of the biggest hustles in prison, if not the biggest, people will say this, they're going to say sports betting, they're going to say whatever. The most lucrative I've seen is the kitchen. Now that's besides drugs, because drugs is hit and miss. So, you know, obviously we're not really going to get into that because it's common sense. People are selling drugs, okay, but that's hit and miss. That never lasts. But that kitchen, say you are one of the guys who knows how to run a kitchen really well, and you have an officer there that prides himself in running the kitchen well. I mean, he's going to, you know, this guy's going to get up under the officer, and now it's going to become his kitchen, and the officer entrusts him to that. Now, he's going to be able to, and this is technically stealing, but technically not, because this officer, because he works so good and keeps everything running, this officer is going to let him take certain shit. So now, say you got chicken day, something like that. He, you know, he's got the compound fed. Everything was great. Everything went off with no hitch. Okay, now your head guy in the kitchen, which I'm, you know, what I mean, I'm the cook. Okay, the cook in the kitchen, which is an inmate. You know, now I divvy out certain things to people to bring back. Okay, he was working the line here. You take these green peppers and onions, boom, 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 take them back. So now I'll be able to get my hands on them and say, or the guy in veggie prep. There's different things. I don't want to go all over the place here because you gotta remember I didn't work in the kitchen, but like you'll have guys who work in veggie prep, the bakery, and then your cooks. Let's do it like that. Let's do them 3. So now the guy in veggie prep, what he'll do is the regular people who work in the kitchen, like come in for a real quick shift, you know, folding the napkins or whatever, or washing the dinner, you know, whatever. Just not really access to stuff. What he'll do now, the guy who has no access to stuff, he's going to go to this guy who's in veggie prep. Now, when the door gets unlocked, the guy from veggie prep is going to kick a box of green peppers and onions out. And, you know, it might be 100 of them, who knows. Now, it's on this guy now to get them back. Now, when he gets them back, he can probably sell them for, you know, possibly $1 a piece. And he's probably paying $0.25 a piece from there. So in other words, he gets paid for kicking the box out there, and he gets paid for getting it back to the unit, boom, boom, boom. Now, it's just a markup. It's just a hustle. Now, the bakery guy. He can really get a lot. And the reason why is he's got access to sugar. Now, this is when I was there. Now, I know they cut down a lot of stuff. So he has access to sugar, the guy running the bakery. Woo-wee. So now he can do a lot of stuff. But the sugar is so important for making wine. And now wine and liquor is another hustle. So he's in the bakery, he's got access to all the sugar. Everybody making wine, everybody who drinks needs that sugar. So he can really come up. Now, same way, you know what I mean? There's been times I've actually curried some stuff back when I first got to Gilmer. They paid me $10, and well, no, not $10. I got half of what I was bringing back, and it was worth $10. Okay, so I brought back $20 worth of peanut butter. Yes, peanut butter. And so basically, instead of buying the peanut butter off commissary, people could just save their jars. We got all these jars. Hey, don't throw away your jar. And what we do, we take the peanut butter, put it in there, and then we sell the jars cheaper. So I did that before a couple times, and you know what I mean? Just I went down with like a back brace strapped on me, and I tucked these big bags of peanut butter, a couple big bags, and walk back to the unit. I get back to the unit, half is mine, half is that guy's in the chow hall who was able to give that to me. Also now I've seen the best way in the kitchen. Now it's Schuylkill. Oh my goodness. Here's the deal. And whenever you have a lot of organized crime guys, the old gangsters and stuff like that, they're all like in competition with each other. Like they want to have the best food. They want to have the, they like to show off who's better than who. They do. All the mob guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. So look, anyway, I'm in the kitchen. I got a lot of rank in the kitchen as an inmate now because I've been working there so long. So now what I do is I come up to you, Jimmy Coonan. Hey, Jimmy. Yeah. No, Jimmy will come up to me, excuse me. Hey, man, hey, let me talk to you for a minute, man. Well, I want to get on a contract with you, and I like the lunch meat and the cheat, you know what I mean? So, in other words, I'm going to say, okay, Jimmy, send $100 a month to this address, cash, on the street, and I'll make sure I'll have all your lunch meat, everything like that. I'll have that brought out of the chow hall. I'll have it brought to you. You put it in your cooler, you make your sandwiches, whatever. So, those are called contracts. Now, what you run into a problem with them contracts, like I said, especially with organized crime guys, is the jealousy factor. Because now I do that with Jimmy. Now, next thing you know, Tony Aiello's watching. The octopus, he's watching. He goes, hey, come here. You give Jimmy Coonan a contract in the kitchen. I want a contract too. I want this. So that's what they'll do, is they'll compete with each other, and it's good for you because you're all right. Send $100 a month this way or whatever. So that's that. Now you get into also what I seen at Schuylkill was this one guy. He wasn't a cook or anything like that, but he made a lot of money through the kitchen because he was cool and stuff like that. Now he had homeboys at the camp. There's a camp hooked to the facility of the Medium. Now the campers who worked over there, they would bring all our supplies and food up to the kitchen. Now, these are his homeboys. He's able to get word to them, look, when you bring in the eggs, I'm just saying eggs, or the chicken, when you bring that in, have a bunch of tobacco stuffed underneath of it. Because the campers can actually leave the grounds and go actually buy real tobacco and stuff. So I seen this dude doing that, and I mean, he was killing it. But that was just the luck of the draw because his buddies were in the camp right here connected. He probably made $100,000 real quick. I'm dead serious when I say 100,000. Pouches of tobacco at that time, and I'm talking about a single pouch. Like, it's like 36 cigarettes that you roll or whatever. At that time, 250, 300, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, 250, 300. So he was really crushing it. Now, with a lot of my hustles, I was more into gambling. So I had a sports ticket, you know what I mean? So basically, sports ticket, you hire people too. Now, this is their hustle. I'm the ticket man. I'm backing the ticket. I got the money, you know what I mean? I'm going over everything. I set my own lines and stuff like that. But now, I'm so busy running around doing stuff, I hire a guy. The guy I hired was Pee Wee. Now Pee Wee would go over. He'd go over to the library. He would type the tickets or Xerox the tickets, stuff like that. Sometimes, here's another hustle. You need copies for that kind of stuff. You'd have guys who would have, they worked in the library, so they'd have access to these copy cards. Somehow, I don't know if they were doing some hustle where they could sell you copy cards a lot cheaper than the commissary would. So that's another move. So that was my hustles, like the gambling. Okay, poker. poker games. You know what I mean? One thing, people make a mistake, they'll try a credit game because you know what I mean? Listen, money on the wood makes the game go good. Don't do a credit game. I'm just going to tell you that. Now, this day and age, you can't. But when people come with the stamps and stuff like that, yes. Now, you got to watch for things when you run these games. You also got to watch for, if a guy comes up with, say he says it's 5 books of stamps or 10 books of stamps, now it's wrapped up. Now I'm grabbing stamps from everybody. Boom, 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 boom. Now I get back to the unit, I go in my pocket, I'm counting the stamps that I made. Now I open up this one. I don't know who it came from, but it's not 10 books of stamps. It's 2 books of stamps with a bunch of paper in it. You understand? So you got to watch out for them things. Now I'm going to tell you at Gilmer what they did. This was crazy, and it worked. And they got the commissary for, I believe when they totaled it up, it was 300,000 or better. 300,000 or better by the time they did the audit. Now look, Gilmer was a new prison. It's a newer prison, opened in like 03 or something like. I don't know exactly when Gilmer opened, but it's not old. Like I was saying on here the other day, Big Sandy opened in 03. Somebody said, my dad was there in the 90s. Now there's a few Big Sandys. United States Penitentiary, Big Sandy opened in 03. If your dad was there in the 90s, he was only building it. But anyway, I'm not taking a shot at you if you're listening. I'm just saying, like, sometimes remember there's things with all the same names. So I do know what I'm talking about. So Gilmer is a newer prison. And, you know, in that area, I guess they hired all newer COs and stuff. So they weren't hip to the tricks. Well, when you get a newer prison, it's just built or whatever. So now they need inmates. So they might ship 50 inmates from this prison, 200 inmates from this prison. You know, not for anything. They'll actually have inmates who actually, you know, do you want to sign up to get out of here? You know, this could be closer to home transfer, stuff like that. So it's not like disciplinary or nothing like that. They just got to stack the jail. So now, when you get there, you got first dibs on the jobs. Well, commissary was a good job. It's a good job no matter what. If they pay well, plus, you know, you get special perks and stuff. Nobody likes waiting in line. You could actually sell me a spot. You know, as soon as I see you come in, I'll make sure I'll put your order in the front and I'll call you. All right, I give you $5. You know what I'm saying? So there's a nice hustle there. You can do that 10 people a day, 20 people a day, you know, maybe more. But they had the ultimate hustle. So they get a little team together working at commissary and they figure something out. Now remember, guys, this is back when they sold cigarettes. They sold carton of Newports, they sold this, they sold that. They did not take cigarettes out of Gilmer until 06. So here's how the hustle began. They would find a guy that they're friends with, like me. So now what they would do was they would approach me and they would say, hey, E, are you going to commissary? I'd say, yeah, I'm going to commissary. Okay, E, order 4 boxes of oatmeal. And let's just say that's $20, or let's say 5 boxes. Now remember, they, at this time, were selling cigarettes. So they would take a carton of Newports, okay? And they stuff packs of cigarettes in each one of these boxes of oatmeal. So now these are no longer $4 boxes of oatmeal, guys. So now when I get my commissary, put it right in the bag, go back to the unit, pop it open. I got all these cigarettes, half for mine, half for theirs. Wow, right? So they're doing that with so many people. I'll tell you what they used to do with the mob guys. The mob guys, you know, they like to wear that, the baloney face, the butt naked face. So they had these real expensive, you know, mock razors and all that stuff that's real slick and all that stuff. So they're like real expensive and the blades are real expensive to change them and everything like that. So what they would do is they'd have the mob guys, hey, you know, boom, boom, boom. We got these mock razors for this much. Man, they were eating that up. You know what I mean? So these guys were making money hand over fist. By the time the commissary caught up to them, like I said, and they did an audit, they were like 300 grand or better short. And they fired everybody. They tried to do criminal charges, but they couldn't because no stamps were stolen. Somebody was smart enough down there to know not to steal any of the stamps because that's where all the books of stamps were. If you buy commissary or whatever, and you order stamps. So yeah, now, that was a big hustle. Now, back to this. When people say, if I'm broke, what will happen? What, you know, I just named you, you know, regular jobs that you could get and stuff like that, you know, and if you're a good dude You're not a rat. You're not no sex offender type dude or nothing. People like you and stuff like that. There's always going to be opportunity because I just gave you all these hustles off of another hustle. Just like this. I'm out there running my blackjack table. I need somebody to sweep up the cards. I need somebody to watch, make sure nobody's sneaking no fake chips in the game, stuff like that. So I might tell you, hey, come with me. I'll give you 4 books of stamps a night. That's $20 a night you'll make. You know what I mean? So you will be able to survive. I hope that clarified a few things for you guys today, guys. So look, like I said, I'm running around dealing with the dogs, everything like that. The MacBook is here. We'll be live for our weekend review on Saturday. Like I said, subscribe, like, share. You know what I mean? Let's get this rolling. Let's get it rolling. All right, guys. Until next time, remember, always stand on business.